Oh my God, we're live. Good afternoon. At the moment, I am having 35 viewers. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you comment if you can really hear me? This is my first time having this. Hello. Hello, hello. There you go. Can you listen me clearly, everyone? Yes, I can hear you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our last discussion. This is, by the way, our first, I mean, not the first. Yes, the first to have the live discussion, though we attempted to do this previously, but due to some circumstances, we're not able to do it. So today, it's now or never. Welcome to the first live discussion and also the last discussion for campus journalism e-learning series. So this would be part of the pre-final and the final result or grades for the campus journalism. The reason why, hello everyone, yes sir, yes sir. All right. Um, the reason why I let you to do this or I let everyone to have the live discussion because sports writing is one of I think the most powerful journalistic type of writing in campus journalism. And this is very close to my heart as well. Just a sharing. All right. This is very close to my heart because when I'm still advisor of campus paper, sports writing is my ticket in joining the regional school press conference. This is the first field in journalistic writing where we represented the city division at the regional competition. And it's awesome. And I know that with this discussion, I hope I will be able to relay and to give also information with sports writing. So I think we are now 66 in total. All right, 66 na po tayo. Please inform your parents. I'm sorry, your classmates if they're not yet on our live discussion. Please let them know that we are already starting so that they'll not miss this opportunity to learn the discussion. So while waiting for some of your friends, I hope or I wish to have a very interactive kind of discussion. So you can comment down if I have questions or if you have questions, you can actually comment down here at the right, I think here. Yes, at the right side of our comment box section. And later at the end of this discussion, I'll try my best to answer your queries or your questions regarding sports writing. All right, so let's start. I think we have to start our discussion since I still have my appointment at 3 o'clock. All right, so I'm just wishing to have a 1 hour discussion pero hopefully magawa natin na mas mabilis, right? So let's start first with knowing who are the sports personalities. Do you know anyone sports personalities or I call them sports personalities? Can you comment down sino yung mga kilala nyong mga sports, mga athletes, mga sports personalities? At simulan ko na. We have in the Philippines, we have Manny Pacquiao, right? So he's very famous in the field. Very good. Si Roxanne Marie, Manny Pacquiao, we have the same answer. So he's inclined in boxing. Eliza Valdez, basically for from my Meca Natural. Eliza Valdez is for volleyball, correct. She's also my favorite player in volleyball. Gretchen Ho, correct. Tama si Ian, Gretchen Ho. Lee Chengwei sa badminton. All right, thank you, Nix Oxing. And we also have like, di ba, in basketball, since I love basketball, not really the sports itself. So later on, I'll be discussing why I'm into sports where I really don't like sports activity. All right? Because it really doesn't mean that a sports writer should know how to play a certain sports in actual, but sports writer means knowledgeable of a specific sport. It doesn't mean na dapat magaling ka sa basketball, dapat magaling ka sa taekwondo or whatsoever. John Mar Fajardo, sabi ni Jolito Ruiz. All right? Sa basketball, we have LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry, di ba? Ang dami sa mga international. Sa Philippines, we also have, ang pinakabago, I think he is the famous now, si Soto. I don't know if you kilala niyo si Soto. Yes, very good, Ate Bago. Si Kai Soto wherein he was rather uh, exported sa ibang lugar just to play, and now he will be playing with the Gilas Pilipinas. So siguro kay mananalo na tayo with the Gilas Pilipinas. Hopefully lang. So much for sports personalities. That is very important na we have to know sports personality. So sa ano naman, bigyan ko rin kayo si Michael Phelps, 'di ba, sa swimming, 'di ba? Magaling 'yon. Then of course, Tiger Woods, di natin 'yan makakalimutan. And many more. Napakarami. Ngayon, sa Philippines, marami rin. Si Heidelin Diaz, 'di ba? Yung women weightlifter natin. So, that is all about the sports personalities or mga taong kilala with the sports. Now, I have here, since it's Valentine's na, I'll be giving you statements or sentence wherein you need to comment. Sabi ko, I want to be interactive. So you have to comment if it's hugot or not. All right? So number one, ang mga sports writers ay ang mapaglaro o mahilig pagluruan. Would it be hugot or not? Sige nga. Michael Jordan, sabi ni Sammy. Tama si Sammy. Ang first statement natin, ang mga sports writers ay ang mapaglaro o mahilig paglaruan. Hugot na, sabi ni Amor, Roland, hugot daw. Nix, hugot. Michelle Luza, hugot. Vanessa, hugot. Karamihan hugot. Well, basically, ang mga writer or sports writer loves to write games. Hindi sila naglalaro at hindi rin sila pinaglalaroan, but they just love to write sports articles. All right? Pangalawa, ang mga sports writers ay stick to one. Hugot or not? Hugot, sabi ni Joelyn Amor. Sabi ni Jimmy naman, hugot. Sabi ni Sheila Marfiga, hugot. Alright, the answer for this would be hindi sila stick to one. Ang mga sports writers ay hindi stick to one because the sports writer, you have to venture to different kinds of sports. You have to explore different types of sports. Kaya hindi ka stick to one. Yeah, ngayon, basketball ka. The other day, you will be on the badminton or whatsoever. Right? Number three, ang mga sports writers ay mga lagi na lang nag-a-adjust. Hugot or not? Not daw, sabi ni Ronel. Sabi naman ni Mecca Natural, hugot daw. Sabi ni Gunito, hugot. Sabi ni Piadopo, higot. Hugot. Well, sports writers are always adjusting. Okay, so they are adjusting as to the length of the sports that they are watching or that they are witnessing. So you need to adjust also with the climate, sports na pinapanood mo or not. So you are really adjusting to that. Number 4 natin is ang sports writing ay parang pag-move on. Mahirap sa una, sa huli makakasanayan mo na. Hugot or not? Not daw, not. Hugot. Sabi ni Shannon Delera, not. Sabi naman ni Noel Vin, hugot daw. Well, in sports writing, basically for beginners, it's really, really hard. Kaya nga at the moment, siguro, alam nyo na ang ending ng ating discussion right now that the end of this lesson, you are going to write an article about sports, right? And it would be very hard for the beginners. Kaya nga ginagawa natin to because we will be helping you step by step process on writing it. For beginners, mahirap siya. But as you go on with the process, you know the play-by-plays, you know how the sports lingos are, madali na lang yon. And lastly, ang sports writers ay sanay maghintay. Hugot or not? Sabi ni Banate, hugot. Sabi naman ni Magbuhos Justin, hugot daw. Sabi ni Makadat Celine, not. Ang mga sports writer ay sanay maghintay, yes. They're always willing to wait. Sabi ko nga kanina, even the length, kung nandun pa, lalo na kung nandun sa tie-breaking part na napakahaba. So, you really need to wait kasi maghihintay kayo. Alright, so that's the end for the hugot or not. So today naman is we're going to do the true or false. You're going to write if it's true or false. Ready? Nauubo ako, sorry. Okay, number 1, sports articles guide readers in knowing what happened in the game. Again, true or false? Sports articles guide readers in knowing what happened in the game. Okay, sulat nga kayo, true or false. Inom lang ako tubig. Alright, true daw, true sabi ni dami. Most of the answer, true. Diba? So, correct naman. So, tama. Sports articles guide readers in knowing what happened in the game. Our main purpose why we are writing a sports article is to tell what happened during the game for those who wasn't able to watch or for those who wasn't able to witness the game. So yun yung pinaka-goal talaga natin why we are writing sports article. Number 2, true or false? One won't be able to write sports articles if he or she can't play the game. Sige nga, true or false? Again, number 2, one won't be able to write sports articles if he or she can't play the game. Sabi ni Jackie Lubabad, false daw. Sabi naman ni Melissa Malerna, true. Sabi ni Romero, hugot. Hugot pa rin, true or false na tayo? Sabi ni Hamito, false. Well, the answer for this is false. Tama, false. Because as I have mentioned, it doesn't mean na when you are writing, you should know how to play the game. 'Di ba? Kasi kasabi dito, if he or she can't play the game, okay lang. Pwede kang maging sports writer kahit hindi ka nakakapaglaro ng badminton. But what's important is you should be knowledgeable of the game that you are trying to write. Alright? So you should be knowledgeable of the terms, knowledgeable of the rules, knowledgeable of the set, kung ilang set yon, or everything about that sports. You should know the kind or the type of sports that you are trying to write. Number 3 naman is true or false, an eye for the plays and players is a key to good sports writing. True or false? Ayan, sabi ni Shannon Deliera, false. Sabi ni Ruiz, true. Sabi naman ni Jenly Lopez, hugot pa rin, friend. Hindi na tayo naka-move on. Nandun na tayo sa true or false. Sabi ni, ayun ang dami na, hindi ko na mabasa. Sabi ni, paghubasan, true, true. And that's true. True po yun. An eye of the plays and the player is the key to good sports writing. And you will be knowing why a little later. Number 4 naman, you have to be diehard sports fan before you write an article. True or false? Dapat daw maging diehard sports fan ka bago ka makapagsulat ng article. True or false? Sabi ni Jasper Rapsing, true. Sabi naman ni Ari Bartolata, true. Sabi ni Jenny Briones, false. Very good. Pasunod-sunod na, it's all false. You don't have to be a diehard sports fan before ka makapagsulat. Balikan ulit natin yung una, na you're not going to play, but you should be knowledgeable of the play or the game that you are watching. Alright? And number 5, for the last one for true or false, a sports writer should know the rules and regulations of the game. Sabi ni Donna Surigao, good PM sir, we're here at the school campus lining for enrolling. I think you can still hear me kasi nandyan lang yung office ko. Okay, the answer for that is true. So you should know the rules and regulation of the game that you are watching. Very good. Nice one for the first part of our discussion. So now let's go on with the nitty gritty of our lesson for today, which is sports writing, by first defining what is a sports writing. But before that, I hope that you have with you today your journal or even your lecture notebook, because I have posted on our GC, I'll be checking that and I'll be collecting that to see if you're really listening with this kind of journalistic article. So let's start with sports writing. So sports writing is sports reporting in news writing. All right? So keyword doon ay sports reporting in sports or in news writing. It's just like you are reading a news, but the coverage is sports. You are actually telling me or telling your people who are not present during that game what happened, the turnouts, and the result of the game. So that is sports writing. Sports writing also is the story has the structure of an action story. Basically, the key word for sports writing is the word verb. Okay, it's more onto action. Okay, we are not narrating anything here, but we are focusing on the action of the event. Okay, of course, but with the greater freedom of style in writing. All right, it's up to you. Later on, we'll be knowing the structure, and it's up to you on your style in writing as well. So, sports writing as well is considered as a specialized field. Diba? It's a journalistic writing that a specialized field in sports. Therefore, the sports writer is expected to possess certain qualities not to common among the best reporters. And basically, it is the game in print. Okay? The game in print. You should know the game itself, and you are not going to rely only on the video. Okay, di ba? Sometimes there are some people who cannot really understand the video or will not spend a lot in watching the video, but they're just to read on what's happening on the video. It's just in case you are not present during the time of the game that you are trying to watch. Okay, so you are to also to reflect what happened on the game. You are to tell us what happened in the game. But try to consider as well that it is not a narration, ha? Because maybe some of you will be thinking that it's just a storytelling, or it's just a narration. It's not a narration. Let's say you will be saying the referee called the center for basketball. Halimbawa, the referee called the center because of a foul. So no, we are that is not sports writing, that is storytelling. Okay? But you are to describe why did the referee call the center. Okay? So you need to go over that one. Now, the next question, we're done with defining sports. As long as um the keyword here is verb. All right, we are focusing on the action, on the movement of the game. That's why it's called sports writing. All right, now the next question is, paano manalo, right? Or how are you going to impress your writer, or I mean not writer, your reader with your article? How, or i-rephrase natin, how will you impress me with your article, with your sports writing? Yun yung pag-usapan natin ngayon on how to have a winnable, just in case you will be in the future, you will be joining competitions such as a sports writing competition. So these are the keys, or these are the tips that you can use in order for you to win that particular contest. So number one is headline. All right. So since it's a type of journalistic writing, just like news writing, but it's a field of sports, headline is very, very important. One way to win in the competition is your headline, ladies and gents, people of the Philippines. Yun yung pinaka-importante, your headline. Headline should never be lengthy. Hindi siya napakahaba, right? Standard for headline in sports writing is only 10 to 15 words. And later on, we will be knowing how to write a good headline. Of course, next to that is the lead. The second one is the lead. So the lead is the strongest chunk of the paragraph. In your article or in your sports article, the lead is the strongest chunk. Siya yung magbibigay ng kulay with your writing. All right? So, alam niyo na yan why it is very important. The lead should always be important, not just only in sports writing but also in other journalistic fields, just like in feature writing, in news writing, in science and tech writing, also in editorial writing, which I know alam niyo na kung how to write an effective, efficient, catchy, and meaty lead. Next is the place. The place is the key place put into words. How did the game went, or how did the game started and ended? So that's your call for the place. Also the writing. Um, all sorts of writing styles are all the same. They are all the same. But in sports writing, you have to be clear and concise on how are you going to write an article. Also, no storytelling. I already told you that no storytelling. Sports writing is a journalistic article, not a narrative essay. This is never a narrative essay. It's a journalistic article. Specifically in sports, we are to focus on the the strength of the players, the turnout, and the result. All right. Another is interview. Okay? Importante sa sports ang interview. You have to talk to the athletes. The proper way of or the formal way of conducting a sports writing competition is after the game you have the freedom to ask the players. So the question is, who am I going to interview? So obviously you can ask or you can interview the coach, the referee. You can also ask the key players or the player who've actually gave the best part of the game. That's why they won in that particular game. So in asking your question as well, be smart with the interview. Be smart. When we're talking of smart, remember that there's a lot of writers waiting for that particular coach or that particular player. So when throwing question, you should always remember that it's only one time big time question. Maybe there's no other way that I can ask more because there's still a lot of writers waiting for this particular player. So you need to construct well. The question should always be accurate, should also be ano ba aligned with what will you wanna have in your article. All right? Research. Why research is important? Because before going to the competition, you should know the background of the game. So do not come to the games without any background information about the match. Let's say Osmeña Colleges versus Masbate Colleges competition, right? Or the 8th inter-school championship game. So before moving on with the championship game, how about the round 1, the semi-bracket, the semi-finals? What happened to that? Are they consistent winning that particular round? So yun, that's very important. Next is be kind as well. Focus on what's happening. You should never be distracted with the people around you. Obviously with the audience because they are yelling, yeah? They are cheering with that particular game. So you are to be keen, observant, and avoid distraction. All right? So baka may katabi kang gwapong journalist tapos dun ka na nag-focus, hindi na sa game. Nako, that's going to be a big gamble. Know the sports lingos and rules. This is very important. Lingos later will be discussed and the rules as well. So this comes in handy. All right. So also be careful with the adjectives. All right. So use adjectives when necessary and justifiable. Remember that it's an action, then you're going to describe. So be cautious in terms of using an accurate adjectives. Okay, so those are the tips, some of the tips whether you can use or you have to bear in mind whenever you write a sports article. So now, let's talk about the power of verbs. I am repeatedly mentioned about verbs. So now let's talk about the power of verbs. Just an information, in sports writing, there is no defeat. Take note of that. In sports writing, there is no defeat, yet there is trouncing. You are not going to say, Osmeña Colleges defeated Masbate Colleges. Talaga? So very, very, very simple, right? So now I want you to write down there. I know that you are listening right now. So I want you to write down these verbs where you can use if the match is very tight or very close. Ito yung tinatawag, we're using this verb if the game is very close or close matches. So number one is pokes. P-O-K-E-S. Edges, holds off, sneaks past, shades, nips, survives, trounces, escapes, and beats. Yun yung sa English na usually ginagamit. Also, in writing your headline, we are not using a past tense. Right? Let's say, action nga, kaya dapat present siya parate. So, hindi mo pwedeng defeated. Right? Kasi news siya balita siya. So, pag sinabi mong defeated, it's very passive. Hindi siya catchy with the ears of your audience. So, you have to be in an active voice. Hello sa'yo, Carla Olats. All right. So, here also some verbs or power of verbs that you can use in Filipino. Since in our output, you have the freedom. I'll give you the freedom to use any medium. Not any, but between the two, we have English and Filipino. So kung close match naman sa Filipino, you can use these words. Inungusan, bumalikwas, nagpumiglas, bumira, umungos, gumuhit, kumalas, inisahan, kumawala, dinaig, at pinutol. You can use those words in close matches. What do we mean when we say close matches? Sasabihin nyo, sir, parati mong sinasabi, close matches. What is close matches? Close matches, ibig sabihin, napakadikit nung laban. Let's say, 89-90. Meron bang ganon? Meron sa basketball. 89-90, 90-92, yon, mga close matches yon. So you can use these words, the words that I have mentioned earlier. Now, punta naman tayo, kung tapos na tayo sa close matches, meron din tayong tinatawag, of course, na lopsided matches. So, ano yung lopsided matches? So, lopsided meaning one-sided or the in favor of the other team. 'Di ba? Halimbawa, napakalayo ng agwat, halimbawa 80 to 110. So lopsided 'yon, meaning one-sided. Sila talaga yung in favor, na leading kumbaga. So you can use these words in English: crush, rip, ruin, pummel, P-U-M-M-E-L, destroy, wreck, W-R-E-C-K. I'm sorry for the motorcycles passing by. Devastate, trounce, annihilate, clobber, trubs, manhandles, dismantles, whips, bludgeons, drubs, trashes, and wallops. You can use those words in lopsided matches. Okay? I'd also like to reiterate that these words or these verbs that I am giving you right now are just limited lang. Kumbaga, hindi limited, kundi kakaunti lang with the so many verbs. Because actually in sports writing, you can loading, would it still be loading, Obrens? Just let me know if the connection is very slow or poor. All right, so I can slow down. Okay. Are Brent still loading? Or okay na? Hello din sa'yo, Christian Alwas. Okay. pag sinabi nating these are the simple, not the simple, but few words lang in verbs, because in writing, in sports writing, you can actually use thousands of verbs in describing the game. But remember that in using the verbs, make sure the word appropriateness of the verb used in a specific game. Kasi meron tayong mga verb na ginagamit na dapat lang sa sports na yon. Halimbawa, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin sa basketball na kabog, dive, three-point shot. Hindi mo pwedeng gawin yon na nag-dive. Right? Or yung backstroke gamitin mo sa basketball. Hindi ganon. Hindi, walang ganon, be. Alright? So, let me also give you the lopsided matches for Filipino. Since if you choose the Filipino, again, lopsided matches in favor of the other team or one-sided game. So, ito yung mga Filipino terms. Kumana, nagpasiklab, humataw, umariba, bumuelta, bumalandra, lumarga, isinalpak, ginulat, at winasak. So you can use those words in Filipino for lopsided matches. All right? So just again, take note, the words come in handy, but the writer has to make sure the verbs are appropriate for the game. Okay? The keyword for using the verb is appropriateness. Okay? If the verb is already used, also in sports writing, take note of this. Please write it down. In sports writing, if the verb is already used in the headline, never use it again in your lead. All right? Again, let me repeat. When the verb is used in the headline, never use it again on your lead, because this is the what we call mirroring of verbs, which is prohibited in journalistic writing, specifically in sports writing. Again, ang tawag dyan ay mirroring verbs, at that is prohibited in journalistic writing, to be specific in sports writing. Klaro ba yan? Alright. So I hope okay na po yung ating connection. Thank you so much, Nathan Nunez, for telling me that it's okay. But Angela Arbolado is still saying that it's loading. So that's fine because this would be uploaded naman. Now, let's talk about the structure of sports news. Okay. So from the previous field of journalistic writing, yes, yes, true, true. Yes, yes, true. All right. In other field of journalistic writing, I have given you the structure so that in writing your article, alam niyo na kung ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod at ano yung itsura, ano yung laman ng bawat paragraph. Specifically, I need to tell everyone that in sports writing, we are following specific writing in a specific paragraph. Okay, let me give this to you. Punta po kayo mga baby at mga magagaling kong estudyante with the comment section. The standard sports article consists of 25 paragraphs. Okay? Laman niya ay 45 paragraphs at nandyan po, isinend ko na po. Nandyan yung laman ng bawat paragraph. Ay, hala, kulang. Hindi nakapag-send. Alright, let's start first with the first paragraph dyan. Nakita nyo na ba? I hope nakita nyo na. Ayan, so first paragraph, nakalagay na dyan. Let me just complete. Hold on for a moment so that you know kung pang ilang paragraph. So that maya-maya tuloy-tuloy tayo. Please take note of these paragraphs para alam nyo kung ano yung laman. Look at the comment section part, ha? Hold on. Will you able to get it? All right, hold on. Let's complete everything. All right, so that completes the 20th paragraph. But remember that when we're talking of the structure of the sports article, listen up. Um, we are following the inverted pyramid. All right? So inverted pyramid siya, wherein of course the very important, the headline, the lead, the paragraph supporting the lead, at ayan na yung mga linagay kong first paragraph downwards, yun yung content na mga supporting nyo. You can also ask quote from the star player. That's why you need to do interview because you need to ask or you need to give quotation. Halimbawa, kung hindi dahil sa dedikasyon at tiyaga, hindi namin makakamit ang kampyonato. 'Di ba? So that is statement from, let's say, Kabug. Si player na si Kabug. Then play-by-play supporting the lead. Play-by-play supporting the last quarter. Kung mapapansin ninyo, mauuna yung last quarter. Then play-by-play for the last quarter, play-by-play by the third quarter, and play-by-play, balik-balik na lang sa play-by-play. Pero ang question is, ano yung play-by-play? Ano yung mga nagaganap sa bawat set? Alright? Or ano yung mga nagaganap sa bawat, ano ba yung term? For basketball, quarter. Diba? Sa bawat quarter. For volleyball set. For sepak takraw set. For badminton set din ang ginagamit natin, right? So dapat you should be familiar with that. So let's start with the first one. Sabi ko kanina, if you want to win in a competition, you need to work on with your headline. The number one is headline. Remember, take note of this. Headline, first impression, last. Okay? So this is the meat of your sorry. This is the meat of your article, your headline. So, in writing your headline, let me give you the tips on how to write your headline in sports writing. So, meron tayong tinatawag na usual headline. So, ano yung usual headline? Ganito yung format niya ng usual headline na winner, no moniker. Ano yung moniker natin? Ibig sabihin, moniker halimbawa, Ateneo, ano yung moniker ng Ateneo? Blue Eagles. So, moniker ang tawag doon pag tinawag kang Blue Eagles. Halimbawa, FEU, real name ng school ay Far Eastern University. Pero yung moniker niya ay Tamaraws. Ano pa ba? De La Salle University. So, ang moniker ng De La Salle University ay Green Archer. Tama? Diba? Sa mga nanonood ng UAP dyan, alam na alam kung alam niyo yung mga moniker. So, lima, sa Osmeña Colleges. So, ang moniker na ginagamit ng Osmeña ay Maroon. Diba? So, yun yung moniker na tinatawag natin. But if you're writing a usual headline, the title ha, ba kasi isipin na ba, ano yung headline? O sige, kung para madali, title. So, winner but not the moniker, no moniker at all, plus the verb. The verb should describe the win. Yung gagamitin yung verb should describe the win and the losing team. Example, Osmeña Colleges repulses Masbate Colleges. Okay? So, Osmeña Colleges is the name kasi sabi natin hindi gagamit ng moniker if we're talking of, yes, correct, Jasmine Magbuhos. Pero, I want you to listen carefully aside from your question right now. We're using in usual headline, we're using the real name. Halimbawa, Osmeña Colleges, then we're using the verb repulses, then the losing team, which is Masbate Colleges. So that is an example of a usual headline. Pero, I tell you, if you wanted to have an impressive kind of article, avoid using this. Okay? Kasi napakababa ng chance in winning this kind of headline. Kasi you will be referring to the next type of headline natin, which is the modified headline. Okay? So, modified headline natin, winner pa rin, no moniker, wala pa rin siyang moniker, the verb, but this time the verb also would describe the win and the losing team plus the phrase modifier. So ano yung phrase modifier natin dito sa modified headline na to? The phrase modifier is the game that they are into. Or you can also say that this phrase modifier is the stage of the game. Halimbawa, semifinal. Halimbawa, taekwondo o yung sports. Halimbawa, badminton. So, ganun yun. Halimbawa, Kabug thwarts Santos in taekwondo. Okay? So, Kabug is the winner, which is me. Then, thwarts is the verb used or described in winning that game. Plus, the loser, which is Santos. And the phrase modifier is the game or the game that they're into, which is taekwondo. Claro? Again, the format for modified. This is actually the usual thing na ginagawa ng ating mga writer. They are using the modified headline. Again, modified headline, name, no moniker, plus the verb, describe the win, the loser, and the phrase modifier. Klaro po? Okay. Now, another example. Halimbawa, South Korea stuns Gilas in FIBA semis. So sabi natin again, the phrase modifier can be the game that they are into or the stage of the game that they are into. So this time it's the FIBA semifinals or FIBA semis. Okay? I hope you're able to get that one. Okay, now let's proceed to the next type of headline, which is story-based headline. So, sino naman si story-based headline? So, si story-based headline, winner, panalo, no moniker pa rin, verb, but this time, the verb should describe the story of the game. Okay? So, kung mga nauna, yung usual at yung modified, describe the win of the game. This time, sa story-based, you are going to describe the story of the game plus the phrase modifier. And the phrase modifier for the story-based headline is what? The angle of the story. Alright? Or the angle of the game. Example, Bata Reyes pockets gold and pull title or pull tilt. Okay? Another, Lubusta, comma. If we're using comma in journalistic kind of writing, that means end. Okay? So, Labusta, comma, which is end, Inyohosa stuns couples to extend rain and dance sports. So, there is a flashback or there is a history with the headline. Meaning, they are the reigning champion. The couple is the reigning champion for the dance sport, which they extend the reign up to that point. Okay? So that is story-based headline. Okay? So I hope that all that's clear to everybody. Again, in story-based headline, winner, no moniker. The verb should describe the story of the game. Then we also have the phrase modifier, which would tell us the angle of the story. Okay? By the way, just to inform everyone, one best way to win is through angling. In any type of journalistic writing, may it be editorial, feature, news, whatsoever, the most important keyword is angling or angle. Paano nyo tinignan, saang perspektibo nyo tinignan yung isang storya. That is angling. Kaya nga, Cara David is very catchy because she really makes sure that the intro and the extra of her documentary should always catch the attention of his or of her audience. So, very catchy siya. All right? Now, let's go on with the lead. Now, we're done with the headline. So, let's proceed with, the lead. So, in lead, you are sweating out the game in words. So, when I say sweating out, you are not telling me the content or the play-by-play of the game. Alright? Or the lead. This is the, sabi ko nga kanina, the biggest chunk of your article. Alright? And the content of the lead is the thing that I've sent here, yung linagay ko kanina, the first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, up to the 20th paragraph, because your article should end with 20th or consists of 20 paragraph. So let's try to discuss the different types of lead. The first one is summary lead. Going back with your module in news writing, I know that you're able to read all the types of lead there. We have summary lead. So summary lead, basically, it summarizes the story wherein the WH questions are all present in the lead. Okay? Just simple as that. Summary lead would tell you the WH question or the most important details of your story. Example, let me read to you an example. The Cleveland Cavaliers fired a record-setting 25 three-pointers as they pummeled the Atlanta Hawks 123-98 to seize a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Playoff Series on Wednesday. Okay? Complete. So, who? The Cleveland Cavaliers. How? They fired a record of 25 three-pointers. And then, what? Pummeled or destroyed Atlanta Hawks with the score of 123-98. Then where? Eastern Conference Playoff Series. And when? Wednesday. Okay? So simple as that. Summary lead is where WH questions are all present. Okay. Bigyan ko rin kayo ng example for Filipino for summary lead. Summary lead. Alright. Selections. Trinangkuhan ang opensiba ni Lait. Pinasingasing ang All-Stars sa demonstration match. Humilagpos mula sa matamlay na simula ang Tagaytay Selections upang ungusan ang game-high 25 puntos ng Tagaytay All-Star na si Emil Lait matapos hawakan ng bintay sa third set at ipinanalo ang 3-set squeaker sa demonstration game ng RSPC qualifiers kahapon. Okay? So again, summary lead is the very basic lead na ginagamit ng mga writer for sports writing. Okay, so sorry for my sipon right now. I'm not really feeling well. So let's have the best player lead naman. Okay, so sa best player lead naman, National University Bulldogs. Correct yan, Regin Pusing. Okay? Best player lead naman, yan na, nandun na. Best player, kung sino yung pinaka nagningning sa laro or nagningning na player during the game. So, yun yung best player lead. Sino? Right? Sino yung nagpanalo? Diba? So, yun yung best player lead natin. Example, let me give you. Kevin Durant tied his career playoff high with 41 points as the lead of Oklahoma City Thunder to an 111-97 victory over the San Antonio Spurs on Sunday, and that tied up the NBA Western Conference semifinal series at 2-2. Okay? So yun yung sa English. Ito lang ang general rule natin for best player lead natin. Okay? Kung gagawa ka ng headline rule para sa best player, kung gagamitin mo yung lead na best player, eto yung headline rule. First, single name. Pangalawa, verb. At yung team. Okay? Halimbawa, Stephen toes Golden State to 24-0. Okay? Diba? So, an example for this, ang lead niya dito, yun yung headline niya. So, yun yung magiging lead niya. Stephen Curry scored 38 points as the Golden State Warriors improved to 24 wins with no loss or defeat this season by outlanding the Boston Celtics 124-119 in double overtime Friday night. Okay? Basta remember to take note that when we are writing a best player lead, the headline should always be rule. Single name, verb, then yung team. Score. Ilagay mo yung score niya. Okay? That's fine. If it's loading, that's fine because I hope to upload this naman. But I want you to listen carefully because your note is very important. All right. So, try natin sa Filipino yung best player lead para mas lalong maintindihan. Yung title niya, Stephen, minanduhan ang 24 na panalo para sa Golden State. So, ito yung kanyang headline. The lead, hinablot ni Stephen Curry ang kanyang game-high record na 38 points upang hatakin ang Golden State para sa 24-0 win-loss records matapos kalusin ang Boston Celtics 124-119 sa double overtime kahapon. Okay? If you really can observe, the verbs are very, very important and powerful. Ano yung mga napansin nating verb? Hinablot, hatakin, kalusin, 'di ba? So those are the things that makes the sports sports article impressive if you're able to translate the correct verb on your article. Okay? Then we also have the what we call key play lead. Kung meron tayong best player lead, meron din po tayong tinatawag na key play lead or ito yung tinatawag na turning point ng laro. Okay? Or highlights of the game. Ano yung naging highlights ng game? So you can start that lead and that is called key play lead. Example, let me give you. Joe Johnson scored on a tough fadeaway with 1 second left to tie the score in regulation in another jumper in overtime. To the lead of Brooklyn Nets defeat Phoenix Suns in the National Basketball Association game Sunday. Okay? So, it was actually described how Johnson Joe scored during the tough game with a fadeaway that gives them 1 second left during the game. Diba? So, pwedeng ganon na parang dinescribe mo na, uy, last quarter na lang, seconds na lang, pumasok pa yung tres. Parang ganon yung highlights ng key player lead natin. Alright? Let me give you an example naman for Filipino. Am I still loading? Okay na ba or hindi pa rin yung ating connection? Because Mr. Arong posted loading daw. But that's okay, baby. Alright, so let's have the key play lead with Filipino version. Okay? So, Gardner kumana ng 2 free throws para sagipin ang Dragons. Okay na daw, sabi ni Jetro Zerbito. Hey, Jetro, you need to see me because you have a problem, my dear. All right? It's nice seeing you here, Jetro. Okay? Now, Gardner kumana ng 2 free throws para sagipin ng Dragons. Nagsalpak at kumamada si Kiwi Gardner ng 2 peligrosong mabigat pamatay na free throw, may 2 segundo na lamang ang nalalabi para sa trangkuhan ng pagdeskaril ng Dragon sa huling rally ng Alab Pilipinas 79-77 sa ASEAN Basketball League kahapon. Alright? Pansinin nyo na naman po ang ating verbs. Nagsalpak at kumamada. Peligroso at mabigat na pamatay na free throw. Diba? Grabe ang pagde-describe ng mga ginagawa ng player with the key play lead. Basta take note lang. Thank you, Jasper Upsing, for informing. It's okay na daw. Hello. Key play lead, the keyword here is the highlight of the game. Diba? Halimbawa, may na-injured sa laro, pero kumana pa rin ng napakaraming score at naging MVP pa at the end of the game. So, highlight yon. So, you can use the key play lead doon. Ano? Again, take note, key player lead, key play lead. Key player lead, the person. Key play lead, the highlights. Klaro po? Alright. Now, we also have what we call best run lead. Napakaraming klase ng lead pero this is the most effective. Okay na po, sir, pero hindi ko lahat nasasubaybayan. That's fine for as long as you have the gist. Okay. Best run lead naman. Sa best run lead, ito yung tinatawag nating long rally, yung napakahaba na overtime na lahat-lahat. Parang ganon. Parang never say die na talaga. Alright, so yun yung best run lead. Example, never say the University of the East wiped out a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter to snatch a 68-66 victory over LaSalle and stay alive in the race for the Final Four in the UAAP Season 77 men's basketball tournament at the Smart Araneta Coliseum yesterday. Alright. So, nag-never say die si University of the East. Okay? Kaya sila nanalo. Okay? At winipe out ng 10 points ang fourth quarter ng laban with LaSalle University. Okay. So, record-setting lead. Okay na tayo sa best run lead. Basta sa best run lead, yun yung mga long rally. Napakahaba na. Next lead, I think this is the last type of lead, is the record-setting lead. So, ano yung record-setting lead? You are giving the statistics. Okay? Giving the record statistics, record setting nung game at nung team, ng specific team, the winning team. Halimbawa, outside hitter Miguel Rafael of grade 9 SPS balked the odds as he pumped in personal high 11 kills to power the juniors with a come from behind triumph past veteran seniors 23-25, 25-21, 18-15 in the men's volleyball finals in the intramurals in Alcala Sports Complex July 22. Also, take note, ito yung tanong, Sir, di ba halimbawa, ilang quarter yung basketball? Sige nga, comment kayo kung alam natin ilang quarter yung basketball sa mga basketball player natin dyan. Ilang quarter? Okay na daw po, sabi ni Rezaline. Comment nga kayo, ilang quarter meron ang basketball game? 4, very good. San Juan, Elisa 4, Jenny Briones 4, Medj Nunez 4, Regina Atibagos 4. Very good. 4. So ngayon, sir, paano po yung pag-present namin ng score? 'Di ba? Halimbawa, Osmeña Colleges 91. Tapos, Masbate Colleges 80. So remember, in sports writing, we are always starting with the winning score. Klaro po? Ano, salba, Osmeña Colleges 24-23, 24-23, 2019, ganon. Parating mauuna yung winning score at susunod yung losing score. Very good. I appreciate your answers. Geralda Tabay, Princess Gonido, Helen, Zerbito, and the rest of the people. Thank you for answering. That's 4. How about volleyball? How many set? How many set meron ng volleyball? Si ECB Channel 4 daw. Si Julian Durongon 4. Ilan ang set ng volleyball? Sige nga. Si Ian, I think, can answer this because Ian is a volleyball player. 5 ba? 5 ba ang volleyball? Sure ka ba, be? Very good. Sabi ni Jenny Briones, it's 2 sets. Very good. 2 set po ang volleyball po natin. Okay. Same goes with badminton. Alright. At pag nag-third set pa, that is now best run lead. Okay? Pag nag-overtime, pwede nyong gamitin best run lead. Alright. And also, it doesn't mean that when you're done writing, okay na yon. Kasi agad-agad, di ba, nanood ka. Halimbawa, kasi hindi naman tayo makakapanood ng actual game. We cannot do the actual game. So, we will be watching a video of the game. So, itatali nyo yan. Ang sekreto lang dyan, mga kapatid, kapamilya, at kapuso, you need to write all the names of the players. Halimbawa, Osmeña Colleges, para kang scorer. Para kang scorer niyan. Osmeña Colleges, lahat ng first 5. Halimbawa, ang first 5, mythical 5, char. First 5, kabog. Ilalagay mo doon, ilang score, ilan naka 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. Kasi malalaman mo doon yung MVP. Tapos after which, pag nakuha mo na lahat yon, doon ka nasisimula sa writing mo. Okay? Kaya importante, kasi baka ang gawin nyo, kasi manunod kayo ng video ng laro, baka ang gawin nyo, bawat quarter lang na score. Again, may tinatawag tayong highlights of every quarter. So, sino yung highlights ng quarter na yon? Halimbawa, si Abinuman, ang highlights ng quarter na yon. So Abin Inuman got how many points for that quarter? So pwede nyong gawing lead yon. Pwedeng ganon. Alright? So, important thing to do after you write is to revise, edit, and polish. Okay? Revise, edit, and polish. Also, in cleaning up your article, remove the flowery words. Tanggalin nyo si feature. Excuse me. Remove nyo si feature writing, ha? Kasi sa feature, we tend to use flowering words, we tend to use descriptive words, but in sports writing, please remove all the flowering words. Okay? Flowery lines, tanggalin nyo na yon. Specifically, the headline, the very lengthy headline, tanggalin po natin yon because it will never, ever get the attention of your readers. Okay? In writing the lead, you need to watch videos, choose the angle to be used. Kasi ito yung article na gagawin nyo. You are going to watch a video. So, get the angle, ano yung pinakamagandang angle, and write the compelling headline and lead that you can create. Alright? So now, let's proceed with the last one, the body of your article. Tapos na si headline, tapos na si lead, punta na tayo kay body. So, sino si body? So, si body is the chunk of the play-by-play or what happened to the game. Okay? And yung mga first paragraph na sinabi ko doon, that is under the body. So, the body, the major highlights, ano yung content ng body natin or the chunks of the play-by-play? One is the major highlights, the turning point, the crucial turnovers, and the defining moment. Yan ay sabi ni Michael Angelo Hugado, which is a full court Malaysian or Malaya business insider. Alright? So, ito yung mga kailangan yung gawin sa body ha. Again, the body, major highlights, the turning point, the crucial turnover, and the defining moment or the victory area. Alright? So, yun yung sa body natin. Alright? So, again, reading of exemplars article I'll be giving you with I already gave you the samples of lead and all. Basta sa body, ito lang yung tatandaan natin sa body ha. I don't want to chop them anymore because I already sent it to you. And that is on your module. Mahanap nyo yun sa module nyo. Ano yung laman ng first quarter down to under. First quarter, first paragraph down to the last paragraph. For the big tips, number 1, select the strongest angle. I keep on telling this that the chances of winning a certain sports or not just even sports article but all the journalistic field is the angling. Importante po yung angle. Importante po yung angling. So you need to select the strongest angling. Sa lead mo pa lang, tignan mo yung laro. Pag natignan mo yung laro, ano kaya yung pinakamagandang headline dito? Then after which, ano kaya yung pinakamaganda, pinakasakto? Ano yung naging itsura ng laro para gawan ko ng lead? So yun yung angling natin. Specific, dapat specific tayo with the details. Specific tayo with the description. Again, you can use thousands of verbs, but always remember the appropriateness of that specific verb in a particular game. Okay? Then, let the facts tell the story. Avoid na yung mga meanwhile, yung mga, ano ba yan, yung mga transition verbs na ginagamit natin na hindi naman siya sakto sa ating article. So, avoid long list of statistics or scores. Huwag nyo nang gawin yun na paulit-ulit. Go on with what happened. Okay? Then highlight most important and put the sidebars. So, yun lang yung pinaka-importante with the single. Yung binigay ko ha, single game yon. Okay? Now, meron tayong tinatawag na composite sports story. So, ano yung composite sports story? These are 2 or more games in one news. Meron ba kayong napansin yan? Whenever you are reading a newspaper under sports section, merong dalawa dalawang laro but just merge into one article. Okay? So some principles are followed in writing composite story, like merging two articles or more articles into one, or however naman, sports writer, one should find a way to simplify or to smoothly combine them into one action, ideas, and highlights, and angle into one coherent article. So merong ganun kasi. In competitions such as kung nandun ka na sa National School Press Conference, or if you are representing your school in National School Press Conference, ito usually yung pinapagawa sa Philippines. Dalawang sports yung titignan mo and you have to put them into one article. Example, para alam ninyo. Alcano Blanjons Reyes to nail finals birth. Semicolon, meaning to separate the two. Espinoza manhandles Alora to cup semis bid. Okay? So there are two stories in the headline, but let's see the lead, if how the writer gets into the lead. Q artist Ronnie Alcano from the Philippines and rookie Jean Maria Espinosa of Mexico stood firm in their respective 2016 World 9-Ball Race to 9 semifinals and Taekwondo Women's Round 1-6 quarterfinal tournaments as they pulled off a convincing win to secure a finals and a semifinal spot yesterday. Alright? So there are two types of sports, but they're just merged into one angle. Okay? So that's how we do it. But don't worry, because in the output that you are going, it's not a composite story. It's just a single story or a single news article. All right? So, kanina lingos. I've mentioned about lingos. Okay? So, sports lingo. When we talk of sports lingo, there is just a specific language or there is just a specific word for a specific what do you call this? A specific game. Hindi ka pwedeng gumamit ng backstroke sa tennis. Hindi ka pwedeng gumamit ng dribble sa swimming. 'Di ba? So those are the sport lingo. So you have to be knowledgeable in getting the correct and appropriate sports lingo. If it's basketball, get all the sports lingo for basketball. If it's badminton, get all the sports lingo or the sports term, just to be specific. Sports term for a specific game. Okay? Again, klaruhin po natin, hindi mo kailangan dapat maging marunong at magaling sa sports na gagawan mo. Ang kailangan mong gawin ay dapat na maging maalam ka at siksik-liglig ang iyong mga kaalaman pagdating sa sports na yan. And you can do research out of that. Okay? So, let me just give you the sports lingo na pwede mong gamitin whenever you wanted. You can actually copy this idioms. Just like example, green archers tame bulldogs to stay unscathed. So meaning, no loss for the team. Wala talagang talo yung meaning ng sports idiom na yon. So, you can either get this or you can copy this, but I encourage you to change the verb because as I have mentioned, verbs has specific rules or specific usage in a specific game or in a specific area na gagamitin nyo yon. Okay? Another idioms, the Bulldogs exploits the Green Archers' costly turnovers. Okay? Live up to the tier top billing or nanalo sila or up against a cracked field. So, pwede nyo gawin yon. Don't worry, I'll be sending you all the idioms. Hindi na natin dito i-discuss because I think we're able to finish the 1 hour already and we are now over time. Alright? So, bigyan ko lang kayo sa Filipino ng sports idiom. Nagtala ng bagong record. Okay? So, meaning record-breaking. Simple lang. So, sumungkit ng panibagong karangalan. So, idiom yan sa Filipino. Record-breaking pa rin ang ibig sabihin yan. Halimbawa, inuwi ang corona. Okay? So, you can use inuwi ang corona sa kahit anong sports. Diba? So, inuwi ang corona sa
sa championship game ng chuchu-chuchu sa badminton, sa kung ano man, you can use this idiom na inuwi ang corona in all types of sports. Winalis ang karibal, 'di ba? So, pwedeng sa chess, sa football, 'di ba? Na nagli-lead into sweep. Okay? So, tinahak ang matarik na akyatan. What do you think? Pag ito yung idiom, saan to? Anong sports to? Sige nga, sagutin nga natin. Tinahak ang matarik na akyatan. Sige nga. Anong sports yon? If you use the sports idiom, tinahak ang matarik na akyatan. Can you comment down? Running, very good. Or marathon. Okay, very good, Edna Manlapas. Let me know. I'll give you plus 5 points. Okay, just chat me that your answer running. Okay, Edna Manlapas only. Okay, so hindi nagpapigil sa pag-atake. So, yung word rin or yung lingo, ang sports idiom rin na hindi nagpapigil sa pag-atake, you can still use that in any kind of sport. Okay? Sinikwat ang titulo or kampyonato o huling pwesto. You can still use that in any sport. Okay? Sinikwat ang titulo or kampyonato. Dinumina, okay? Or kinupo ang corona. You can use that in any sports again. Pwede mong gamitin yan. Nabunutan ng tinik sa lalamunan. 'Di ba? Parang, sir, ang wala namang connection with the sports. But these are the idioms. Hindi siya sports lingo, but this is an idiom. Meaning, na as is. Alright? Okay, so I think that's the end of our lesson for sports writing. I hope that you're able to learn something from this discussion. Again, learning sports writing cannot happen in just one sitting, but it entails your commitment, 'di ba? Hindi mo siya kayang gawin in just one sitting, 'di ba? Google ang kailangan dito. Tiyaga ang kailangan dito. Pananaliksik ang kailangan dito para mas lalong gumanda at gumaling ka sa sports writing. But ito yung mga binigay ko. I hope that you can use this in your next output. By the way, for the information of everybody, this would be your final, your pre-final, and your final output in campus journalism. So I want and I wish you to write a good article. You can still watch this video if you wanted some clarifications. You can still ask questions right now. Do you have any question at all before we say goodbye to one another? No more? Any question? Again, everyone, I'll be putting a link on the GC. This is a survey, all right? So I want you to answer. Your attendance for today is the survey that I will be sending on your GC. Claro? So you need to fill out that form or fill out that survey. Make sure to submit it today because that would be your attendance for today. That is a survey for online discussion. If it's effective, if we will be pursuing this kind of method or not. All right? So I hope you've learned something. Again, writing a sports would really and always entail time. All right? Time and commitment. But with your bravery right now, listening to me and learning things that supposedly hindi naman, that's a great venture para ma-discover mo yung sarili mo. Alright? So, thank you for listening. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks. Thank you and God bless everybody. Thank you for the 186 attendees today. So, I'm very happy for the 186, though I'm expecting 400 plus students. But I think there's someone who has valid reason that they can give. Alright? And for your final output, there is a video about Usmania College's and Masbate College's championship game. Watch that video and write an article. Sports article. Claro? It was already posted on the YouTube. You need to watch that video. Tally ha. Again, panoorin, itali ang mga score para makagawa ng magandang article. Alright. Goodbye everyone. See you when I see you. face to face.